Alrighty then. So I've been working in my life to resolve a certain problem with my apartment for a while. The problem being the incredible amount of stains and messes and just shit all around my coffee table on the carpet. And I can't really complain. The reason for this is that I have people over all the time. And of course, I'm not going to ask people to take their shoes off if they're coming in my apartment or something like that, because a lot of the time people tend to be drunk and they're going to have mud on their shoes, they're going to have something on their shoes and come down, sit on my couch, rub their feet around without realizing it, and leave a bunch of messes. And I'm not bitching and moaning. That's the nature of the beast. If you're going to have people over, you have to be willing to deal with what they bring. So, anywho, this huge conglomeration of messes around my coffee table had, it had paid the iron price. It had been there long enough, and it was time for me to take control of the situation again. And so I figured I have two options here. One, I could go to the store, maybe get on IKEA online and make sure that my apartment new look can be really feng shui and really Asian. I could add some of those paper barriers, and then I can have a justification for asking people to take off their shoes, because Asian people do that. I could make that stretch, but then I figured I don't want to live like an Asian person like that, like a Chinaman. I don't know what the correct PC term is. I know that's not it. So I figured, I'm just going to go get a rug and put it down over all the stains on the carpet, make it pretend like it doesn't exist, and then all the subsequent stains will go on this rug, which I'll just throw away at the end of the year anyway. So I figured that's a great plan, but what to do today, because I was just so busy that day. But you know what I figured? I knew that I had the resolve. I was resolute enough to go to Walmart and get one thing. Just get one thing. So I decided I was going to go to Walmart and get that one thing. And as you can anticipate, I failed miserably. My biggest error was when I walked in, I grabbed a cart, I shouldn't have grabbed a cart. What the hell was I thinking? If I didn't have a cart, I would have walked in there, grabbed the carpet, and then walked out, and after paying for it, obviously, and then just carried the carpet without a cart. That would have been my plan, because once I had the carpet in my hand, I wasn't going to walk back to the main area and grab a cart and put that in there, then push it back to where I was. That would make me look silly, so I would just go and get it, and not even to mention the fact that I'd be too lazy to go and get a cart after I'd grabbed the thing that I was trying to get. So, got a cart, big mistake, and I get the carpet after picking it out for 5-6 minutes, and I look to the left, and I notice a bunch of candles, and who doesn't like candles? I have a lavender candle burning right now, and because you just heard me say that, you know that I slipped up a little bit, so sue me. So, bought some candles. Then I looked over again, and I saw a nice set of comforters. I needed some blankets anyway. What the hell? It'd be foolish of me not to get it. And then it was pretty much a blackout. I don't really remember anything after that. It was kind of like I was the guy from Memento, and I woke up about 8 minutes later in the frozen food section holding a bag of boneless chicken wings, and I was like, what the hell happened? My cart's full of beer and food and everything that I didn't want to get here. And so that was a big mistake, but that doesn't really matter. That's just what I got at the store. So I failed that mission desperately. Or not desperately, horribly, and so I walked to the front of the store, and it is packed, and it was like a ridiculous level of packed. Usually, a packed Walmart equates to 3 of the 50 registers being open, and then one semi-literate person running one of them, and then 2 inept retards running the other, and there's like 50 people in each line. But this time, almost every single register was open, and there were at least 3 people in every line, like 3 big things of food, 3 huge carts. And I was like, shit, this is going to take forever, and I shouldn't have gotten all this stuff. I'm going to be late. And so, out of nowhere, I'm about to get in one of the big lines. I look, and I see this line that has one lady in it. And it was only one woman. I was like, holy shit, she doesn't even have anything in her cart. She just has like 10 items left on the conveyor belt that just had to be scanned and put in the bag. So I was like, oh my god, I got to get over there. This is going to be good. So I push over there. I'm pretty much like Walmart jogging, like trying to do that kind of sneaky maneuver where I'm running over there, and if someone makes eye contact with me who's also looking for an aisle, and they see me going for that aisle, they're going to cut me off and get there first. So I just have to like look like, oh yeah, look at the on sale juice, and then cut in real quick. So I got in there, and that was good. And because I got such a victorious, awesome surge of success, I was like, yes, I'm better than everyone. I got this spice, and you didn't. And I just stood there and messed with my phone for a little bit, because I felt secure. I felt that I had the situation under control, and that I would be out of there in a few minutes after this lady finished up and after I got all my stuff up there. Lo and behold, that was not the way things panned out, and if they did pan out that way, I wouldn't have told this story. So I'm sitting there in line, and 5 minutes go by, and I really didn't know what was going on. I looked up at the conveyor belt thing, and only 2 or 3 items had been taken off since I got there. So not even an item a minute, and this was going really slow. So I was looking up from my phone intermittently, being like, all right, this is pretty strange. I don't know what's going on. I guess this lady who's running the cash register, who's a pretty old lady, like I guess she just is going really slow. I have no idea what the situation is. So I waited 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes. 10 minutes turns into 15 minutes. At this point, there's still 3 or 4 items left, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. People with huge carts full of things next to me have gotten through, and then the person behind them have gotten through, and I am still waiting on this same lady, and it's been 15 minutes now. 15 minutes for 10 items to get across this thing, and I am still waiting. And at this point, people behind me are waiting and irritated. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is ridiculous. And so being the investigative journalist I am, not really, I walked forward under the auspices of looking at some of that gum that you can get by the magazines at the end, and I saw from the vantage point there that it was not actually this cashier woman's fault. This lady who was buying all these things had a huge Ziploc bag stuffed to the brim with coupons, like stuffed to the brim. It was not organized at all. It was just fistfuls of coupons jammed into this thing. And this lady was in her purse, messing around with them, like just pulling out huge wads, trying to search for the right ones, making this poor old woman search through them with her for these items. And at that point, I was like, holy shit, all of us in this line, me especially since I've been here the longest, we just waited like 15 minutes, and this lady is just pulling out coupons, just random-ass coupons, taking up everyone's time doing this. Like, and it just immediately, it sparks in my head, like how profoundly full of neglect for someone else's time do you have to be to use coupons like that? Like, how can you get into a line and say, on this busy day, I am going to stand here and make a process that would take a normal human being 10 minutes, and I am going to make that take 40 minutes. Like, that is obscene. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like, and that's just like saying everyone behind you, it's like saying, oh yeah, I know you all have places to go, but guess what? The importance of me saving 3 cents on this popcorn bag is worth making you wait. Like, it's just profoundly selfish. Like, at least have the decency to organize this, or to maybe shop in accordance with your coupons. This lady may as well have just grabbed a bunch of random ass stuff, thrown it in the cart, and then taken her big bag of coupons, and she was just hoping for the best. Like, maybe I got something in here. Like, Jesus Christ, like going for the shotgun approach, and it was just so irritating. So I back up and I wait about 5 more minutes, and I'm not saying anything. The people behind me aren't saying anything. I can hear a couple of them murmuring, but I was there alone, so I didn't really have anyone to murmur to. And so, not intentionally, I realize this is a rude thing to do, but I let out kind of an exasperated sigh, you know, just kind of a like just something like that, you know. And this woman, when I did that, you know, obviously that wasn't the most polite thing, but I don't even regret it. Screw her. I let out this exasperated sigh, and this woman, who had been, you know, just making small talk and discussing the coupon situation with this cashier and not really looking at anything else the whole time, turns to me with cold, dead, soulless eyes and just says, "Calm down. I'm almost done. Calm down. I'm almost done. Calm down. I'm almost done," she tells me. She tells me, calm down. I'm almost done. Now, in this instance, I knew I had to do one or two things. I could either say something, or I could shut up. And if you know anything about me, I'm going to say something. But I am very proud of this part of the story. I did not get really rude or anything. I probably did, you know. I'm probably having confirmation bias here. But I really tried not to be rude. And so I just looked at the lady, and I summoned every just little semblance of self-control, and every little bit of me that wanted to leap across the room and kick her in the tits just told me, no, Taylor, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go back to jail. Not again, man, not again. And so I look at her, and I'm like, ma'am, don't tell me to calm down. I'm not your child. And this woman was probably 35 years old about there. And then she looks back at me and says, oh, yeah? Well, I would be done with this by now, but you've been staring at me this whole time, and it's making me uncomfortable. You've been staring at me this whole... What? What? And it was at this point that I realized that this lady knew 100% the idiocy of her stance and was just frantically trying to make it seem like she wasn't the complete 100% bitch in this situation. And she tells me that I'm making her feel uncomfortable. Like, aside from the fact that, like, yeah, if I was just beady-eyed staring at her, that would have been uncomfortable, but I wasn't beady-eyed staring at her. I was just standing there looking around. What the hell else am I supposed to look at? I'm in line. Why, of all the things for me to focus on when I'm in line, why would I not focus on the one thing that the future of my immediate life is contingent upon? Why would I not look at what needs to pass before I can move on to get my life on its way? You know, why would I not look at that series of events? You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. And so I just said back, I didn't say ma'am. I was about to say ma'am, make it seem like I was more polite, but I didn't. I said, we have been waiting and gesturing to the people behind me for 20 minutes for you to finish this. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And then the lady, the cashier, steps in because I thought this was just succeeding in helping me get a little bit of, you know, a little bit of revenge. But I thought it was going to end up just culminating and just making it seem like, oh yeah, well you shut up, I'm going to keep couponing. But what happened is the lady behind the counter goes, ma'am, he's right. This is taking way too long. We're going to have to check out right here. No more coupons because all of her items have been checked out. She was just couponing them. And she was like, oh, that's ridiculous. You have to take my coupons. coupons. You have to take them. That's a rule. You have to take them. And the lady, I'm like 90% sure that this old lady just made up a policy, but she was like, I'm sorry, man, when it's this big of a crowd, our policy is blah, 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 coupon bullshit. And so she had to leave after she paid right then, and it was just a victorious moment for me, despite the fact that I lost like 25 minutes of my life. But it was a victory, and I emerged with more wisdom than I went into it having. So, it's a good thing. Love you.